Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida, a master's degree in education from Armstrong Atlantic State University, and a doctorate in education from Georgia Southern University. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a member of both the American Board of Hypnotherapy and the National Guild of Hypnotists, and I'm president of the American Alliance of Hypnotists. I'm the director of the Steve G. Jones School of Clinical Hypnotherapy. I also serve on the board of directors of the American Lung Association in Los Angeles. I have over 2 decades of experience in hypnotherapy, and I still maintain a busy practice and teaching schedule because I see clients and teach classes worldwide. My client base consists mainly of people who want to lose weight, stop smoking, or gain confidence. Other clients include sales teams interested in boosting motivation and increasing income. Also, singles looking for love, insomniacs desiring proper sleep, and actors desiring more confidence for their next audition. When I travel to see clients and teach hypnotherapy certification classes around the world, I visit such places as Tokyo, Japan, Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, London, England, Montreal, Canada, Los Angeles, California, and New York, just to name a few. By the way, since you have an interest in hypnosis, perhaps you would be interested in becoming a certified clinical hypnotherapist. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com, and click on Hypnosis Classes at the top. You can either train in person or online. After your training, you'll be added to our worldwide directory of certified clinical hypnotherapists, and you'll receive a certificate. I was fortunate for many years to have my office in Beverly Hills, California, where I worked with such wonderful people as Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman, Geraldine Saunders, the writer of The Love Boat, and many other celebrities. I have been interviewed on CNN, Fox News, and appeared on True TV, in addition to having my own hypnosis TV show. With my over 20 years of experience, I'm happy to share with you techniques that I've both developed and learned, which can help you improve your life. I encourage you to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. There you will find my life's work, 22 books on hypnotherapy, over 3,000 hypnosis recordings available as downloadable MP3s or CDs, and these recordings will program your mind to achieve goals in such areas as weight loss, motivation, and stopping smoking. I also have audiobooks, such as this one, where I'm talking with you and sharing with you in a very dynamic way techniques that you can use to improve your life and the way you do things. The reason I'm telling you all of this is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I, your teacher, am very capable and I know what I'm talking about. I'm also very happy for the opportunity to share this information with you, so rest assured that you're in good hands, and let's have some fun as we now expand your knowledge. I wish you well in all of your endeavors, and please be sure to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and let's take a look at numerology. I want to explain to you the way that we get certain numbers in numerology, how these numbers are calculated. After that, I'm going to tell you what all of the numbers mean in detail. First, let's look at the life path number. The most important number in numerology is based on the date of your birth. And this number is known as the life path number. This number gives us the outline of the challenges, the opportunities, and the lessons that we will encounter in this lifetime. So let's take a look at how to calculate this number. First, reduce the month, day, and the year of the birth date to a single digit. Next, add each of the resulting digits together to reduce the total number to a single digit. For example, if we take the birth date October 12th, 1936, and you may want to write this out, it may help. October is the 10th month. Reduce 10 to a single digit. 10 is 1 and 0, so you add the 1 plus 0, that equals 1. The day of birth is 12. 12 is 1 and 2, so we add them. 1 plus 2 equals 3, so the day of birth is 3. The year of birth is 1936. we reduce 1936 to 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 6, which equals 19. We further reduce the 19 by adding 1 plus 9, that equals 10. We further reduce the 10 by adding 1 plus 0, which equals 1. The year 1936 reduces to 1. We now add all three numbers to get the life path number. We have a 1 from the month, a 3 from the day, and a 1 from the year. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. The life path number is 5. Now, if any of that seemed difficult to you, please go back and review this information and try it out with a variety of different birthdays. Here's another example. November 22nd, 1911. November is the 11th month. Now 11, as you'll learn later, is a master number. 11 and 22 are both master numbers. So here we have an example of a master number in the birth date. The master number 11, and it's not reduced. Remember that. 11 and 22 are master numbers, and they're not reduced. The 22nd day is also a master number. So that remains also 22. The year 1911 reduces to a 12. 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 12. 12 reduces to a 3 because 1 plus 2 equals 3. So now we have an 11 for the month, a 22 for the day, and a 3 for the year. So we now add them together. 11 plus 22 plus 3 equals 36. At this point we can reduce. 3 plus 6 equals 9. The life path number is 9. Now let's move on to calculating the birthday number. The birthday number is the day you were born, and it has a great significance about who you are and where your talents are. The day of birth will tell you some of the special talents you possess. This is going to help you along your life path. Your day of birth is one of the 5 core numbers. The other 4 are the life path that we just discussed, the expression, the heart's desire, and the personality. Those last 3 we'll talk about soon. For right now, let's get back to the birthday number and talk about how to calculate it. Your birthday number is the number of the day that you were born, and we examine it as both a single and a double-digit number. The reason we do this is to see the additional characteristics you have which are not revealed in the single-digit number. For example, a person can be born on day 17 and can be said to have an 8 birthday number. 1 plus 7 is 8. But the double digits and the 1 and the 7 suggest other abilities and characteristic traits not brought out in the 8 alone. The 17 reveals different underlying talents than the 8 does in the 26th day of the month, because 2 plus 6 also equals 8. So it's helpful to look at the digits underlying this number. The 1 and the 7 in the 17 and the 2 and the 6 in the 26 are quite different. So this is very important when understanding the birthday number. So remember, the birthday number gives you a number which shows where your specific talents are. But if it's made up of 2 separate numbers, you should also look at those to see where maybe some of your hidden talents are. And again, we'll talk about each of the numbers later on after I explain all of the types of numbers and how we calculate them. Let's look at the expression number. The expression number reveals something physical and mental about you. It also reveals your goal in life. Sometimes numerologists refer to this number as the destiny, because it does represent something that you're striving for, something that we could consider to be your destiny. And every day of your life, you work at fulfilling this destiny. So the expression number talks about a goal that you have inside and the person that you're striving to be. Your expression number also reveals your abilities, your characteristics, your talents, and it can reveal your shortcomings. When you think about it, it also reveals who you are, because who you strive to be does define who you are. So your individual talents and characteristics are made up of each letter in your name and the corresponding number of that letter. These letters combine to form a number. So you want to make sure you're working with your name that you were given at birth. And remember, we're talking about the potential that you have. So to find the expression number, you take your full name at birth, which means your first name, your middle name if there is one, and your last name. So you may have changed your name since birth. Even if you did that, use the original name that you were given at birth. This is going to provide the blueprint of the way your life is supposed to go. So if you've been given a name by someone else or changed your name, don't use that name. Use the original birth name. If you had several middle names or several last names or even several first names, use all of them. So the way this works is that each letter is given a numeric value based on where it falls in the alphabet. So for example, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, and so forth. For numbers with 2 digits, you add the 2 digits together to get one number. So for example, N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. 1 plus 4 equals 5. The letter N, as in Nancy, equals 5. So let me save you a little bit of time and give you the numeric values of the letters in the alphabet. A as in apple, J as in Jack, S as in Sam, equal 1. B as in boy, K as in kite, T as in Tom, equal 2. C as in cat, L as in Lucy, U as in under, equal 3. D as in David, M as in Mary, V as in Victor, equal 4. E as in Ellen, N as in Nancy, W as in Walter, equal 5. F as in Frank, O as in Orlando, X as in Xerox, equal 6. G as in George, P as in Paul, Y as in yellow, equals 7. H as in Harold, Q as in Queen, Z as in Zebra, equal 8. I as in Indigo, R as in Robert, equal 9. So listen to that again if you need to, and write those down so that you'll have the numbers 1 through 9. Notice that the master number rule does not apply here. When you have a letter such as K, which would normally be a master number 11, it simply reduces to a 2. So, to calculate your expression number, I want you now to write out your full name if you're not operating a motor vehicle. Write out your full name. And above each letter, write down each number. Then I want you to add the numbers together for your first name or names. Add the numbers together for your second name or names. And add the numbers together for your third name or names. And as you do, reduce each of these to a single number. Now, as you go through this process, I want you again to apply the rule of master numbers. So if at any time you encounter an 11 or 22, don't reduce to a single number and continue with your reduction. So what you'll have at the end will be 3 numbers. It's possible that one or more of them, when finally reduced, will still be master numbers, and that's fine. Remember, master numbers are added together as themselves, and they do not reduce. But if you add, for example, an 11 to a 2, that becomes 13. At that point, you can reduce, because 1 plus 3 is 4. So whereas master numbers don't reduce themselves, the 11 would not reduce as a 1 plus 1. If added to something else, they become a non-master number. That non-master number can be reduced. So if you haven't already done so, I want you to add all three numbers to come up with one single number. This one single number, whether it's a master number or not, is your expression number. And remember, we're going to talk about numbers and what they mean in detail later on, but for right now, I want you to keep in mind that this is your goal in life. This is the person that you aim to be. All right, let's take a little break now. We're about halfway through the material that I've presented, and I want to make sure that you're with me, that you're paying attention and that you're learning something. So what I want you to do right now is, if you're driving and you can pull over, go ahead and do that. If you're not driving, then you can definitely do this. You can take out a piece of paper and you can write down 5 things that you've learned so far from what I've said. 5 things that resonated with you. Now, I want you to keep in mind, they don't even have to be 5 things that I said. Maybe you got some good ideas from what I said. Maybe I said something and your brain took it and blew it up a million times and came up with all kinds of wonderful, amazing possibilities based on what I said. If that's the case, then feel free to write that down. I just want you to write down 5 things, whether they came from me or they're just thoughts that came in your head. 5 things that have come to you so far, either from me saying them or from you thinking them, as a result of listening to this program so far. So as I'm silent, I'm going to give you ample time now. I want you to write down 5 things, 5 thoughts that you have as a result of listening to this program so far. Do this now. Okay, do you have your 5 things? If not, go ahead and finish them up. 5 things, write them down. So I'm going to move forward now. Let's take those 5 things that you have written down, and I want you to elaborate on them. For example, if you have an insight number 1, that's I should change blank about myself, whatever it may be, I want you to elaborate on that. Whatever you've written down for point number 1, something that's come to you during listening to this program, I want you to elaborate on that now as I'm silent. Good. And now I want you to take point number 2 and elaborate on that. What was the second point that you wrote down, and how can you enhance this idea? I want you to make it real for yourself, because I want you to have, after you finish this program, something you can use. So on point number 2, elaborate on it. Consider what you wrote down as point number 2, the foundation. Now build a house on it. Go ahead and write down something now as I'm silent. Good. Now you're getting some momentum. Now for point 3. Point number 3 that you wrote down, something that came to you as you listened to this program. I want you to elaborate on point number 3 as I'm silent. Good. Now take point number 4, the fourth point that you wrote down, something that came to you while you were listening to this program. I want you to elaborate on point number 4 as I'm silent. Great. Last but not least, point number 5. Take point number 5 and elaborate on it as I'm silent. Good. So now you have something that you can take with you after this program. You have those 5 points that you elaborated on, and you can use them after this program's over. So let's continue on with the information now. All right, you've got a lot of information in your mind now, a lot of information that's come to you, a lot of information you've heard from me. There's a lot going on in your mind. Why don't we take a moment now, make sure you're not driving during this. If you're driving, don't listen to this part, do this part later. But if you're not driving, what I want you to do is close your eyes and let all those thoughts come to you, all those thoughts that are floating around in your head, let them come to you now. And I want you to start seeing them become organized. And I want you to start seeing them happening in your life. I want you to see them playing themselves out in your life somehow. All these ideas you have, I want you to find a place for them in your mind, whether in terms of a plan, or in terms of changing something about yourself immediately, or in terms of, it could even be a vacation you're thinking of taking. But those ideas that are coming to you now as a result of listening to this material, what I want you to do with them right now, I don't want you to write anything right now. I don't want you to overthink anything. I just want you to close your eyes as long as you're not driving. I want you to close your eyes. And as I'm silent, just use your imagination and let your imagination run wild. See where these ideas will take you. Let these ideas float around in your mind as I'm silent and really let them play out. Just let them go wild in your mind. See where they take you. As I'm silent, do this now. it. Did you enjoy that? Now, probably what happened is initially, when you closed your eyes, you thought of a bunch of random thoughts and they didn't make any sense. And maybe some things were coming in that really didn't fit there. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see all kinds of interesting images that don't have anything to do with what I'm talking about or listening to. But hopefully, after a little while, those images kind of settled down and meaningful images started to show up. Like, aha, that business idea I had, or that vacation I had, or that person I need to tell something to, or something started to develop, or maybe a series of things. When you let your imagination run wild, you often come up with ideas that you will not access if you're beating your head against the wall, if you're trying to figure something out. That's not as effective usually as just letting your mind run wild, because eventually your mind is going to settle down and is going to start giving you information that you can actually use. So I hope you use this exercise not only in this program, but outside of it as well.